Hello my loves and welcome back to my channel. Today's yoga flow is focused on the autumn equinox. This celestial time is significant for many reasons, but one of the main ones is that it signifies change and a time to be grateful for the harvest we've cultivated in our life. So go ahead and join me in the center of your mat, and we're going to actually start in child's pose. As you rest in child's pose, I want you to think about all of the change that you may be experiencing in your life, or the gifts that you are harvesting from the seeds you have planted this year. Maybe it's going the way you expected, or maybe it isn't going the way you have expected. Either way is okay. Just acknowledge what is going on in your reality and practice some gratitude for the things you are harvesting in your life this season. As you're in child's pose, continue to take a nice deep breath, and we're actually going to bring our arms over to the right side of our mat, still in child's pose as we stretch out that side body. Continue focusing on your breath and any harvests you're reaping in this season of your life. Go ahead and take it to the other side of your mat, still in child's pose, but now your hands are on the left side of your mat, stretching out the right side of your body. Bring it back to center for one more breath in child's pose. And then go ahead and meet me in tabletop. So your hips are over your knees, your shoulders are over your wrists. And we're going to do some cat-cows here. So starting at the tailbone, you're going to lift it up towards the sky, arch your back, and look up towards the sky as you inhale. Then you'll exhale, tuck that tailbone in, round your back, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Inhale, arching your back, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, rounding your back, tucking your chin into your chest. Inhale, looking up towards the sky, arching your back. Exhale, rounding your back, tucking your chin towards your chest. One more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Then we're going to bring it back to a neutral position and slowly lower our hips into upward facing dog. Our gaze in our chest is nice and high, looking up towards the sky, really showing appreciation and gratitude for any changes and harvests we are noticing in this season of our life. Then we're going to tuck our toes under, inhale as we push ourselves up into downward facing dog. So now you're pushing your hands into your mat, you're trying to lower your heels as far as you can, still keeping those legs straight, but it's okay if you need to bend them a little bit. What's really important is that your back is nice and straight. Now starting from the bottom of your legs into the top of your head, you're going to roll your body from downward facing dog into a plank a few times here. Do this as naturally as you can. It may look a little bit different for you, but this signifies us rolling with any changes that need to occur during this season of our life. Try to be as fluid as you can as you roll from downward facing dog to plank. We'll do one more roll and then bring it back to downward facing dog. And now we're going to transition into a side plank. So we're going to stack our feet on top of each other. You're going to pivot your weight into one hand and go ahead and bring your other arm up towards the sky, trying to keep your spine as straight as you can, and then we'll transition to the other side. You can see I'm a little shaky here, and it's totally okay if you're shaking as well. Transitions aren't always easy on your yoga mat and in real life, so just have compassion with yourself as you move through these transitions and changes. Now go ahead and go back to plank and then into downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for just a few breaths before we transition into our next yoga flow. Now on your next inhale, go ahead and lift your right leg up towards the sky, nice and high. And then you can bend that right leg back towards the other side of your mat. And we're just going to do some hip circles in this three-legged dog pose. Then sweep your right leg through, bring it all the way up to the front of your mat. If you need to help your leg up, that is totally okay. And then we're going to lift our right arm towards the back of our mat, doing a slight twist in the slow lunge. Then we're going to bring our arms down back into low lunge, and then go ahead and stand up into a high lunge. You can put your arms on your hips, but eventually we're going to bring our arms up towards the sky, having our biceps by the ears. Then on the next inhale, we're going to lean back and bring our arms into cactus pose for just a moment. Then you can bring your arms back up into high lunge. You're going to lower that back foot and transition into warrior two. So you're now facing the side of your mat. Your arms are stretched out as far as they can. Then you'll straighten that front leg and slowly lean back into reverse warrior. Stretching out that side body. Then bring it back to warrior two. Then to high lunge. And now we're going to find that balance on our right leg as we transition into warrior three. Really demonstrating our balance through these transitions and showing compassion when we're a little wobbly or unstable. If you want to, you can bring your hands to your chest and prayer arms for a variation in warrior three. And then slowly lower your back leg, bring your hands to the mat, and then meet me back in downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So go ahead and inhale that left leg up into the sky. Three-legged dog. You can then bend that left leg and do some hip circles as we open that hip. And then you'll sweep that left leg through into a low lunge, keeping your palms on the mat. And then we're going to lift our right arm towards the sky, again doing a slight twist in low lunge, breathing into this twist and into this pose. Go ahead and lower that arm. Then you can bring it up into a high lunge, either having your hands on your hips, and then eventually bringing your arms and your biceps by your ears. Then we're going to inhale, lean back, bring our arms into cactus pose for just a moment. And then exhale, bring your arms back up, biceps by the ears. Lower that back foot and transition into warrior two, stretching those arms out as far as you can. Straighten that front leg and then go ahead and lean it back into reverse warrior, stretching out your side body. Then we're going to bring it back to warrior two for just a moment, then into high lunge facing the front of our mat. Then we're going to find balance on our left leg and transition into warrior three. Again, showing compassion and self-love through all of these transitions, especially in the season of the autumn equinox. As you're finding your balance in warrior three, you can bring your arms to prayer pose if you'd like, or you can keep them extended. And then let's slowly lower that back foot. We're now in high lunge. And then we're going to lower our hands to our mat and go ahead and meet me in downward facing dog. Take a few moments here. We're going to run through that whole sequence again on both sides, but we're going to sequence our breath with each movement. So go ahead and inhale, bring that right foot up into the air. Exhale, sweep it through into low lunge. Inhale, reach your right arm to the back of the mat. Lower it. Exhale, coming back up into high lunge. Inhale, lean back into cactus pose. Exhale, come back up into high lunge and then into warrior two. Inhale, straighten that front leg, lean back into reverse warrior. Exhale, come back into warrior two. Inhale into high lunge, and then exhale into warrior 3. Inhale, lower that back leg back into high lunge, lower your arms onto the floor, and then meet me back into downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here as we do the same sequence on the other side. So go ahead and inhale, lift that right leg up in the air. Exhale, sweep it through into low lunge. Inhale, lift that left arm towards the sky to a twist. Exhale, bring it up into a high lunge, arms by your ears. Inhale, lean back into cactus pose. Exhale, back up into high lunge and then into warrior 2. Inhale, straighten that front leg, lean it back into reverse warrior. Inhale, bring it back to warrior 2. Exhale into a high lunge. Find that balance on your left leg. Inhale, bring it into warrior 3. Exhale, slowly lift that right leg back down. Inhale, lower your arms to the ground and meet me in downward facing dog. Again, let's take a few breaths here as we catch our breath and recenter ourselves. Go ahead and lower your legs into tabletop and slowly transition into a seated position on your mat. We're going to go ahead and lay down but have our feet flat on the floor, and you're going to go ahead and put your left ankle over your right knee into a laying down figure 4. So you can put your hands behind your right knee as you pull that leg towards your chest while you're also pushing your left knee towards the front of your mat. Really getting a nice hip flexor stretch here. Go ahead and release it, and let's do the same thing on the other side. So again, putting your right ankle over your left knee, holding on behind your left knee, pushing your right knee as far as you can towards the front of your mat, and pulling your left knee towards your chest. Go ahead and release that stretch, putting your feet back on the mat. We're going to do a quick knee hug right here. And then you're going to lower your knees towards your left side of your mat and bring your gaze towards the right. I have my arms out extended in a T, but you can also put them in a cactus pose here, whatever feels best to you, but getting a slight twist in your spine. Now go ahead and move it to the other side. So now your knees are leaning towards the right side of your mat and your gaze is towards the left. Take one more breath as you breathe into this twist. And then you're going to bring it back towards the center. And we're going to do a happy baby pose before we end our practice today. So just bring your feet into your hands. You're still bending your legs and just kind of roll back and forth. Do what feels most natural and most comfortable to you in this moment. Go ahead and release it. And I'm going to straighten my legs and my arms into traditional Savasana. But you can go ahead and do any pose that feels most comfortable for you as we round out our practice today. For the next minute, I want you to focus on your breathing. Close your eyes and really reflect on the season of your life. The fall equinox brings so many changes in our physical environment and in what manifests in our life. Really take time to reflect on what this season is bringing you. What harvests can you reap from the seeds you've planted this year? And what can you truly be grateful for? Also acknowledge any transitions or pivots you need to make in this season as well. When you're ready, go ahead and meet me back in the center of your mat in seated position. I am so grateful that you joined me for today's practice. Go ahead and bring your arms to your chest. I will see you in the next yoga flow. Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed today's yoga flow or meditation, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any future yoga flows or meditations. Or if you have any ideas for topics you want me to cover in the future, please leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video. I love every single one of you, and I'm so grateful that you joined me today. See you in the next video.